Ever tried growing kale from seed only to end up with leggy, weak seedlings that flop over and never really take off? It happens to a lot of people. And the frustrating part is it usually comes down to just a few simple mistakes that are easy to fix once you know what to look for. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the entire process of growing kale from seed, covering everything from choosing the right varieties to transplanting healthy seedlings into your garden. Plus, stick around to the end, where I'll share a trick for getting a second harvest from every single plant you grow. Let's get into it. Kale is one of the most rewarding crops you can grow in your home garden. It's incredibly cold hardy, packed with nutrition, and once you get it established, it just keeps producing for months. The good news is that starting kale from seed is actually pretty straightforward when you follow the right steps. So let's start with what you need to get going. First up, let's talk about seed selection and gathering your supplies. For varieties, you've got a lot of great options. Lacinato, sometimes called dinosaur kale, has those beautiful dark blue-green leaves with a bumpy texture. Curly kale, like Winterbore dwarf blue curled, gives you those classic ruffled leaves that hold up really well in cooking. And Red Russian has flat, tender leaves with purple stems that look absolutely gorgeous in the garden. Pick whichever appeals to you because they all grow the same way. For supplies, you'll need a seed starting tray with cells, a good quality seed starting mix, and a spray bottle for watering. I also recommend getting a humidity dome if your trays don't already come with one. That's really all you need to get started. Now let's plant these seeds. Fill your cells with seed starting mix and give it a gentle press to settle it down, but don't pack it too tight. You want the mix moist, but not soaking wet. So I usually water the tray from the bottom and let it soak up for about 20 minutes before planting. Drop 1 to 2 seeds per cell, and here's the important part. Kale seeds only need to be planted about a 1/4 inch deep. A lot of folks bury them too deep and then wonder why nothing comes up. Just press them gently into the surface and cover with a thin layer of mix. Pop your humidity dome on top and place the tray somewhere warm. Around 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal. You don't need light yet, just warmth. Within 5 to 10 days, you should start seeing those first little sprouts push through the surface. This is an exciting moment, and it's also when things get critical. As soon as you see green, get those trays under strong light immediately. I can't stress this enough. Kale seedlings will stretch toward any light source, and if that light is weak or too far away, they'll get tall and spindly trying to reach it. You want your grow lights about 2 to 3 inches above the seedlings, and leave them on for 14 to 16 hours a day. Once they sprout, remove the humidity dome so air can circulate. For watering during these first 2 weeks, use your spray bottle to keep the surface moist but not soggy. Overwatering at this stage is the fastest way to lose seedlings to damping off. By the way, if you're finding this helpful, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future videos. Now let's keep going. Between weeks 2 and 4, your seedlings will develop their first true leaves. Those initial round leaves you saw are called cotyledons, and they're just the starter leaves. The true leaves are the ones that actually look like tiny kale leaves, and once you see those, your plants are really taking off. At this point, if you planted 2 seeds per cell and both germinated, it's time to thin to 1 seedling per cell. I know it feels wasteful, but crowded seedlings compete for resources, and you'll end up with 2 weak plants instead of 1 strong one. Just snip the weaker one at the soil line with scissors. Now's also the time to start feeding. Use a diluted liquid fertilizer at about 1/4 strength once a week. Keep those lights close as the plants grow, adjusting the height so they stay 2 to 3 inches above the leaves. When your seedlings are about 4 weeks old with 3 to 4 sets of true leaves, it's time to start thinking about the transition outdoors. This process is called hardening off, and skipping it is one of the biggest mistakes people make. Your seedlings have been living in perfect conditions, and if you just plop them outside, the wind, sun, and temperature swings will shock them badly. Start by placing them outside in a sheltered, shady spot for just 2 hours the first day. Each day, increase the time and gradually introduce more sunlight. Do this for 7 to 10 days before transplanting. When you're ready to plant, space your kale about 12 to 18 inches apart in soil that's been amended with compost. Plant them at the same depth they were growing in their cells and water them in well. Let's talk about a few problems you might run into. If your seedlings are tall and floppy, they're not getting enough light. Move them closer to your grow lights or increase the hours. If the stems look pinched at the soil line and the seedlings fall over, that's damping off from too much moisture and not enough airflow. There's no saving those, but you can prevent it by watering less and improving ventilation. If leaves turn yellow, you're likely overwatering or the seedlings need fertilizer. And if you see tiny holes in leaves after transplanting, check for flea beetles and use row cover to protect young plants. Now for that bonus tip I promised. Once your kale plants are mature and you're ready to harvest, don't pull the whole plant out. Instead, cut the main head about 2 inches above the soil line, leaving the stem and roots in place. Within a few weeks, that stem will push out new side shoots and you'll get a second harvest from the same plant. I do this every season, and it basically doubles my yield without planting a single extra seed. Just make sure you keep watering and feeding the stumps like you would any other plant. So that's everything you need to know about growing kale from seed through those first 6 weeks. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss future growing guides. Drop any questions in the comments below. I'd love to hear how your kale turns out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.